everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Ece Gurler Art. Today we are tackling a very common problem in portrait making: proportions. Proportions can be tricky, especially when you think about the differences between male and female faces, or not everyone has the golden ratio. So how can we actually draw from our mind depending on these proportions? I'm going to just explain in this video for you. If you want to have an access to more than 25 tutorials in my Patreon, the address is patreon.com/EceGurler. You can watch me draw and learn with me as I explain the techniques, and it is as low as $5 a month. Now, if you're ready, let's talk about proportions. In order to explain all these proportions, I'm going to use vertical and horizontal lines. So where to start when it comes to the face? What we should start with is a straight line that will go through the middle of your nose and the middle of the mouth. And once you decide on the length of that line, then you find the midpoint and make another horizontal line just crossing that vertical line just you drew. Did you know our eyes just stand in the middle of our face? It's very interesting because you would think that it's not, but it is. But we're talking about the height of the head, but not where our hairline starts, okay? So those are two different things. When I say head, I'm going to mention where you can see also the top of my head, just like this. And when I mention face, that means from my chin to my hairline, okay? So after we drew these lines, what next is deciding where the eyes are. So when you think about our eyes, there needs to be one another eye right in between our two eyes as a distance, of course. And when you add one eye here and one eye here, like that makes 5 eyes, then you will have the area, the line where our ears start actually. This helps us to understand what the width of the head. It is 5 eyes long. And then what we do, so when we start drawing straight lines from the inner part of our eyes, then you will see the limits of the nose. I mean, of course, the nose can be bigger, it can go across those lines, but not too much. And when you go half an eye inside from the eye line, then you will get the middle of where the pupils needs to be if they are looking straight, of course. And when you draw a straight line from those pupils, then you will get a borderline for the mouth. The mouth doesn't usually, if you have a very big smile, doesn't go, across those lines, so you know where the limits are. Because our portrait is facing us directly, the eyeballs needs to be in the middle of the eye. After I put the iris and the eyeball in where they belong to, then I drew, as you can see, my nose, and I just make sure that the nose is in the frame. The frame is basically the lines that I drew straight down from the start of the eye. And as you can see, I decided on the width of the head by just adding one more eye to the left and right. So basically our head is a total sum of 5 eyes. And I decided on the hairline. Hairline is important because this is how I'm going to decide on the length of the face. As I said in the beginning, the length between the hairline and the chin is basically the length of your face. And now we are going to divide it into 3. Why? I will explain. When it comes to, where the nose finishes and what to do next, is basically you have to look at the face. The face is from the hairline to the chin, and you divide that distance into 3, and each 1/3 will tell you something. So for example, from the top, the first one will mark where the ears start, the second one will mark where the nose ends, and the third one is already where the chin is. And when you look at the last 1/3 area of the face, when you divide it into 2, then you will have the end of the lip, the lower lip. So this gives you an opinion. Of course, when you draw lips, you have to consider the upper lip is always thinner than the lower lip. Honest a bee stung, you know. Doing one small circle for the upper lip and 2 small circles for the lower lip is a very nice strategy. I highly recommend it. One thing you should notice is males have a thicker neck, so they will start from a point that is closer to the ears, whereas for women it's going to be thinner, so it's going to be further away from the ears. So technically, for when you look at the golden ratio, the length of the mouth should be as long as 2 eyes. You know, you can have the eyes as reference, I guess, for the whole face. Again, though, I want to remind you, these are for golden ratios. Those are for the perfect ones, you know, perfect ratios, but no one is perfect. And when you look at my face, for example, you might have slightly different ratios, which is fine, especially the ears, nose, mouth. These vary a lot from person to person. Use your creativity and you can make those noses bigger, lips bigger, or, you know, very small ears. Like, it's all up to you. So what happens when you draw someone from the side? Again, the same ratios apply, of course, but this time we are looking from a different angle. Again, I decided on the length of the head, and that's as long as my pencil. And I found the midpoint, and when I marked that midpoint and made a horizontal line, I saw where the eyes are. And once I drew the eyes, then the next thing for me to remember is like, okay, where's the nose? Or, you know, where the hairline is going to be. But from the side, you also have to remember where the ear is going to be. If the ear is too close to the nose, then it's going to look weird, awkward, off. And if it is too far from the nose, again, it's not going to look natural. So what we do here is we measure the half of the head, half of your pencil length in this case, and then you measure from the end of the nose to inside, and that point that you're going to measure is going to be the start point of your ear. Then you decide where the chin is, and then you decide on where the hairline is, and you divide them into 3, 1/3 of the face. When you decide on the hairline, though, you have to decide on how long your 1/3 is going to be. So here, a few things that you need to consider. The first one is where your ears start needs to be, when we face straight, of course, not lower than your eyes. It should be either on the same line or should be above. So we do that according to our proportions. And then, of course, where the nose ends needs to be, where the second 1/3 needs to be. And once you do that, the last one between the chin and the nose, there will be a 1/3 area. And here, if you divide it into half, it will mark where the lower lip ends. So just considering all these information and all these proportions, you can create the best portrait for yourself. So when you look at from the side, where the eye is, where the eye ends, when you draw a, you know, straight line, that will also coincide with where the nose ends and where the mouth ends. So that is a perfect line when you think about it in golden ratio. That will help you a lot. Would you like to draw and paint with me step by step and learn all the techniques that I use? I post 3 new fully narrated real-time tutorials on my Patreon every month. Patreon.com/Ece Gurler, as low as $5 a month. Of course, again, the nose or mouth maybe can cross that line, cross that border, which is fine, but be aware of that line, it exists. There are other ways to draw, you know, portraits. When you look at them, you know, there are other ways to understand these proportions. But for me, this one is the easiest to understand, and I apply this a lot. At home, try different things. Try different, for example, noses, the sizes or the shape, or try different eye shapes like almond shape, or, you know, you can have whatever shapes you want, but just try different portraits each time, maybe from different angles each time, so that you will improve yourself very quickly. I hope this video helped you guys. I'll see you in my next video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you subscribe to my channel, you can get more of these videos. I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. And for my real-time narrated tutorials, visit my Patreon, patreon.com/Ece Gurler. Stay with art and love.